Hi, my name is Louise Clark, and today I wanted to talk to you because it's Christmas Day. So I wanted to talk to you who are using stimulants, who are using crack cocaine, speed. They all work really much the same. They're stimulants. I worked all through the 90s, pioneering the services for women crack cocaine users. Well, I worked with all sorts of drug users, and I sort of was given free rein because in them days you could, and I was quite good at it. So I was left to do my own thing. But by 96, European policies said that we had to fill in forms and take data and information on the clients, which didn't really fit with women crack cocaine users or any cocaine or crack users really, because they don't really want to give out their information. I mean, it wasn't meant to go anywhere, but you know, data collection, we see it now. So I set up my own service independently, but it seemed that because I wasn't under manners, I had to be closed down. So therefore, I seem to be blacklisted in the profession now. So with all that knowledge, and I used to do training to other professionals working with crack cocaine users, and that sort of was how I made my money to run my service. So that was squashed too, really, and therefore I don't know what training you do receive nowadays as professionals. So this video is for everyone really, because it's Christmas Day. So whether you're a user or whether you know a user or whether you work with users, I want to address all of it now. Because what I did do is, as a result of not being able to work with my client group anymore, I wrote books on how to help yourself, which I wrote firstly, Stop Using Crack Cocaine and Reclaim Your Life. It's available on Amazon or from my website, higherinsight.co.uk. I also wrote How to Stop Using Cocaine and Reclaim Your Life, because there is difference, but they are cousins. So these two books are for the users, so whether you're a user or whether you're someone that wants to help a user, these are the books for them. Now, also online is videos that I've put on YouTube, on Vimeo, on my website, on all the different aspects of these drugs, and also how to help others using the drugs. In addition to this, because I used to do the training to how to work with women, and I used to do training on how to work with men, I put together like handouts for those professionals, and there was a lot of photocopying, so I put them into book forms. So I wrote Women and Crack Responding to Needs. So this is a book written for professionals working with women crack cocaine users. And then the men moaned, what about us? So I did Men and Crack Uncovered, and I used to do training for how to work with men. So both of them are available on Amazon or on my from my website. So these are the books. I don't actually... Yesterday I met someone and they were telling me about the psychosis situation that, well, they're saying that the crack users are queuing, or stimulant users are queuing in London to get into A&E with drug-induced psychosis. I remember in the 90s that professionals, I'm a psychologist, I did my degree in psychology, but the drug workers wasn't really qualified to that level, and therefore psychiatry didn't really have much good regard for them. But then when the crack users started coming in and just for a little rest and having the psychosis and then having the tranquilizers and then feeling a bit better, then they would leave. So they called me in because they didn't quite know how to deal with that. And yes, it was like, they're playing you really. Now what I'm learning is that the psychiatric unit is full in London and probably elsewhere, and that they're queuing. Now I find that interesting because I can't see crack or cocaine users queuing, but if it's desperate they'll queue. The thing I wanted to say there was, when it comes to drug-induced psychosis, there is a difference between drug-induced psychosis and a normal psychosis. Now, what happens is if you start knowing that you're thinking strange and you're thinking weird and it all looks a bit like you've got psychosis after using too much drugs, you may then take yourself to the psychiatric unit thinking, that's it, I've gone crazy, when you actually haven't. If you let the body just clean out, detox and get back to normal, your brain will be normal again. But I've seen people more like with ecstasy in the drugs field when I worked with them, that they'd come in and feel like they're losing their marbles, where they'd had too much ecstasy, because that's how ecstasy works, is you have too much, you just sort of go a bit crazy. But what I would see was when I tell them, no, you've overused the drug, just take a rest, you'd see the relief in their face. You'd see them like, oh, I'm not crazy. No, you're not. And so if we think we're crazy or we've turned ourselves crazy with the drug, sometimes we can end up like worrying and making it worse and worse and worse and worse. And then you get to the psychiatric unit and then there is a queue. So what I'm telling you is you may not need to go to the psychiatric unit, because you just need to know, take some time away from the drug, calm down, relax, do some relaxing things if you can, and knowing that it's not really a permanent, it's not really a mental illness as such. Now, when it comes to professionals, they're not sure how to differentiate between, are you mentally ill or is it a drug-induced psychosis. I am telling you now, the way that you can differentiate is if you are aware that you are thinking strangely and like things are not how they normally are, things are floating around, you're seeing things that shouldn't really be there, that is not true psychiatric psychosis. It's not needing psychiatric psychosis, drugs for psychosis, because it isn't psychosis, it's a drug-induced psychosis. If, on the other hand, you are not aware and you're believing that the things are flying around the room or all them things, then that could be a psychosis itself. But as I say, if it was drug induced, and it's complicated because sometimes people may have a little bit of a psychosis going on in their life, and then if you take the drug you're going to become worse. Or sometimes if you mix the drugs, like some people, if they mix crack or cocaine with cannabis or alcohol, then that can turn them a bit funky monkey. So it's not clear cut, but I just want to say that if you're queuing and you think you're crazy, then you need to look at them variables. I did make a video maybe a year, 2 years ago, on how to deal with a psychosis caused by drug-induced. My words are coming all silly today, but you know what I'm saying. If it's drug-induced, I made the video for that, of how to tackle it, how to deal with it. I don't use Western medicine, I use Chinese medicine. So I would recommend these herbs to detox and to stabilize. They're not designed for drug users, they're designed for people with anxiety, people with depression. They call them the happy pill on the internet, but they're called Xiao Xiao, which I'll write down. I also made videos on how to take these. They're better as a sachet in how they work, but also they come in little bottles and they're easier to swallow in the little bottles because they're sort of coated, where the ones in the little bags are not coated. But both will work. So you can buy the bottles from any Chinese herb shop, or you can buy them from my website, higherinsight.co.uk. And you get a box of 10 if you buy a box, and if you get a little bottle, I don't know how many is in a bottle, about 200. I've got terrible eyesight, so I can't tell you. So that's the herbs that I would recommend to help. What they do is Chinese medicine is all about getting rebalanced, so they will rebalance you, they will clear out the toxins in your body, and they will calm you down because you'll be balanced. You may even feel a little bit of a buzz. It's not the drug causing it, it's about balance. Feels like that, but we don't really live in balance in the West, so we're always a little bit manic, especially if you're a Londoner, which I am, but I don't live there no more. So they're the 4 books that are available to you. There's loads of videos I've made. They're on YouTube, they're on my website, they're on Vimeo if you don't like YouTube. So there's no reason. 2024's coming, you need to be stopping for then, I'm telling you now. So I hope you have a lovely Christmas and get ready for the new year. Either people buy you the book, or you buy the book, or insist they have the book in the library, or somehow, or just listen to the videos. Wishing you all good well. Bye.